And I think Galen hit the nail on the head. That within each of us, there is a yearning to be grounded and to connect with something that's real. Now, not everybody will. But as our culture moves more and more into this fantasy virtual world of everything, electronic everything, and we're all plugged in, and life becomes just consumed with somebody else's creativity, somebody else's work. There's this deep yearning in our souls, some of us, okay, to have a visceral relationship with the most fundamental parts of life. And I don't care how computer savvy, how robotic, how virtual our world becomes. I don't know where it's going, where it'll be, how many drones will be flying over. I don't know where all this is going. But I know one thing, and that is that a certain segment of the population is going to have to remain completely, viscerally grounded in the real foundations of life. Somebody still has to plant that seed. Somebody still has to nurture that plant. Somebody still has to milk that cow. We can't all just live on fabricated soil and green from a Kellogg's factory somewhere. We can't just survive on an extruded Archer Daniels Midland or Cargill or Monsanto GMO pseudo irradiated, procrastinated, adulterated stuff. We haven't evolved past the point where we are still utterly and completely dependent on those plants and those animals and the soil life that's out there. And so the stewardship of that basic life biology heritage, the stewardship belongs to us. And we are, I like to look at us as we are the new Native Americans, and no disrespect to true Native Americans. But we hold in our hands, we are the repository. We are the repository of that heritage, tradition, and humility of what sustains life. And when the big multinational corporations and the mechanical life Monsantos of the world and the egg-headed land-grant college credentialed academic alphabet soup named experts they've all got PhD degrees, pilot higher and deeper. I say I've got a real PhD degree. It's called post hole digger. And when those folks have exhausted their manipulation of the system, when they have exhausted that, when GMOs have run their course, you realize in the last year, it was 14 years ago last year that GMOs were created. And it took 14 years from the release of the first DDT until it was directly pinned to affect amphibians, three-legged frogs, infertile salamanders, and that sort of thing. And so 14 years. So nature has has a lag time sometimes. That's the problem with all the lethal dose requirements of registering, substances with the EPA. Lethal dose. It reminds me of my friend Bill Wolf when he was trying to import Icelandic Thorvik kelp into the United States back 30 years ago, and he had to fill out EPA paperwork with a lethal dose. And so, he tried to feed it to rats, and the rats just got, healthy and slick and good, and no matter how much more he fed them, he had to kill one in order to fill out the lethal dose thing. Figure out how to do it. So he finally got a 5-gallon bucket and put a couple tablespoons of kelp in there and water and held a rat in there till it died. And he could put out what a lethal dose was, 5-gallon bucket, with a submerged rat. But if you don't drop dead today, it's okay. And that's how we've gotten to this strange place where it's, where the U.S. recommends that we eat, Twinkies and Cheerios and Cocoa Puffs and stay away from raw milk and other things that are injurious to your health. It's a strange lethal dose thing. So we're all